Hey YouTube, it's Adam from I'm a Music Mogul and welcome to another remake video. Today we'll be remaking 21 Savage track ASMR produced by Metro Boomin. This is the type of 21 Savage Metro Boomin song I love. It's been heavily requested on the channel for a remake, so let's get straight to it. First things first, let's go ahead and change our tempo to 170 beats per minute. And we're gonna start off with that main pattern that we hear, not throughout the entire track, the pattern does switch up, but the main one at the beginning. Now this pattern was super crazy. I'm not sure if Metro Boomin programs it hand by hand or this was just an arpeggiator. I'm not sure, but I was going to draw it by hand. I did actually start another video recording and it took me about 15 minutes to draw the pattern, and I figured, I'm not going to bore you with 15 minutes of me just tapping in notes. So I exported the MIDI and here it is right here. Here it is right here, the pattern. It's really nuts. I didn't want to spend 15 minutes of your time watching me draw and figure out this pattern. So here it is here. So hopefully you guys understand. As you can see, it's pretty crazy. So we're gonna go ahead and bring in Logic's ES2 synthesizer. And we're just gonna use the default settings that load up. We'll be using 2 sine waves. And it sounds something like this so far. All right, next what we're gonna do here is we're just gonna pitch this up to semitones. We're going to take off this third oscillator. We don't want that. And we're going to do a 50-50 split between oscillator 1 and oscillator 2. And we're going to put in some detuning between the two of those. We're going to go ahead and turn on unison. Let's pull back the volume a little bit here. We're going to take the cutoff and bring it to about 8 o'clock. I'm just going to pull up the release a little bit to let it ring out a little longer. All right, and that's all we're going to do on this sound right here. Next, we're going to actually layer up this sound. So let's go ahead and create a new software instrument track. And for this, we're going to bring in Logic's Sculpture. And we're going to go ahead and bring in a preset here. It's found under Mallet Instruments. And we're going to take the big kalimba. Now, we're not going to adjust much here. Let's just close this out for now. We're going to duplicate this pattern. And we're going to go ahead and just pitch this up. Let's pitch it up another octave here. We're not going to adjust anything in the sound. We're going to go ahead and close this up. We're just going to model it with some EQ. We're going to cut out some of the high end here. Not too much. We want some of that clickiness. Make this a little bit tighter here. Add in some resonance as well. And let's cut out a lot of the low end here. Add in a little bit of resonance right there as well. And what we're going to do here is lower that by a lot. And then we're going to blend it in with this one. And then we're going to go ahead and select both of these tracks, control click on one of them and create a new track stack so that they become one instrument. All right, and now we're just going to go ahead and EQ them together. Once again, we're going to cut out some of the highs. Make this add in some resonance once again. So this is going to filter out very little bit on the sine waves that we added. We're going to cut out some of the low end of the sine waves as well. And we're going to go 20 or 48 dBs per octave. Just going to lower this a little bit like that. Let's lower this a bit more. And then next on the sum track, we're going to go ahead and bring in a nice big reverb, so Space Designer. And we're going to bring in large space, warp space, and the bomb tail preset. And we're just going to leave the default settings that load up here. So that's pretty much our main pattern right over, well, not our main pattern, it's going to switch up, but that's our main sound that's going to be heard throughout the record. Next, let's go ahead and just bring in those intro bits here. All right, so for one, we got that girl laughing. So I'm just gonna go ahead and drag that in right here. I believe it comes in on the 5th bar. All right, and then we get the Metro Boomin tag. I'm going to drag that in here as well. I'm going to push it back a little bit here, but I think that was pretty good. All right, and then finally, I'm going to go ahead and drag in the sword, sort of the draw sword right here. All right, so that's a little bit too bright. Let's bring that down. And we're going to push this back to something like that. So I'll lower that more. All right, and then on all these tracks, we're going to go ahead and create another track stack. And we're just going to apply the same reverb to all of them. Let's open up Space Designer. We'll just use the default settings that load up. All right, so there's our intro bit right there. And then we're going to go ahead into the next 8 bars. Now there's a switch up every 8 bars, and we're going to try and get to most of them. So let's go ahead and duplicate this track stack over here. We're going to be using the same pattern, except we're going to go ahead and adjust this EQ. Okay, so for this EQ, we're going to go ahead and make it a little bit darker. It kind of gets filtered out a lot. So let's go ahead and just pull this down here. Just gets a little bit darker sounding. And then we're going to go ahead and create a new softer instrument track. And let's go ahead and bring in the 808. Go ahead and bring in Logic's EXS24 sampler instrument. We'll bring in that ASMR drum kit, make it nice and loud. Since this is 808, I'm going to select mono. And let's go ahead and draw in that pattern. All right, so let's go down to the low octave here. right, so we get some gliding action happening here. So what we're going to do here is going to open up EXS24, and we're going to make sure that this note does glide. So let's just turn up glide to about 50 milliseconds. And that glides a lot better. So let's go over to the next 4 bars. Alright, so now that we got our whole 808 pattern over there, just going to cut out some of the high end here, bring this down. Just really focus on that low end. Just lower this a bit so it's not distorting so much. Alright, next let's go ahead and duplicate this track. Actually, let's go ahead and just open this up. Let's take off the glide. We don't want to use that, and we're going to take off the EQ. And let's go ahead and put in that clap. Alright, so let's go ahead and just draw in that pattern. Make that a lot lower. Go ahead and draw this in here. Alright, so on this clap, we're going to go ahead and put in some reverb here. Just going to go ahead and open that up. We're going to use the default reverb that loads in. Just put in some reverb like that. All right, next let's go ahead and apply some automation to this clap. We're going to go ahead and bring in a single band EQ. Let's go to EQ, single band EQ stereo, and we're going to automate something like this. So something like that. Let's go ahead and click touch, or turn this on to touch to enable our automation. And let's start off with something low and just pull that up a little bit. All right, I'm just going to go do the rest by hand here. I'm going to change this to our automation point. Yeah, let's just bring this back. I want it to have a nice build up. Don't want it to get too high here. Let's do the max around 690. Maybe we can build that up a little bit more. All right, so there's our build up of the clap right there. Now let's go ahead and duplicate this over. And let's duplicate over the 808s as well. Let's duplicate this track and let's copy over this clap. We're not going to copy over the automation. Take off the automation. Let's just turn this to off. Let's take out the single band EQ, but we will leave the clap. And let's go ahead and draw in the new clap pattern. last hit comes out. Next, let's go and duplicate this track. And let's go ahead and draw in the open hats. And I believe the open hat was here. Sounds good like that. Let's go ahead. Actually, we'll just take out the reverb. We don't need it on that one. Duplicate this track and let's go ahead and draw in the kick pattern. Just make this a little louder. Maybe a little bit louder. I think on this 808, I actually missed a note here. All right, we're missing that gliding note over there, so there's our kick. Next, let's go ahead and duplicate this track. And let's go ahead and draw in our percussions. It happens right at the end here. Double click that, open that up. Let's go see here. All right, so there's that pattern. It'll just play out from the middle point. All right, so next let's go ahead and work on our next section. Now the pattern does switch up a little bit over here, well, a lot. So I'm gonna go ahead and drag in that pattern here, just so that we don't have to waste a lot of time. You watch me create that pattern. Here it is right here again, pretty intricate arp again, but Metro Boomin switched it up here. So we're gonna go ahead and just copy that down here and just pitch it up 1 octave here. All right, and we're gonna go ahead and copy over the same 808 pattern. We're gonna copy over the same clap pattern. We're gonna copy over the same open hat and kick pattern. And then we're going to copy over the same percussion as well. That happens at the end. And let's go ahead and duplicate this percussion track. And let's finally draw in our hi-hats. So we're going to go ahead and figure out where this hi-hat sound is. So there it is right there. I'm going to change over to my brush tool. And we're going to draw in 8th notes. All right, over here we have a quick stutter. Let's go ahead and draw that in right now. Oh, changes over to our pencil tool. Just go ahead and make this short just so we see what's happening here. here, we're going to go ahead and brush in 64th notes. Ooh. Let's go with zoom in on here. All right, and we're going to go ahead and copy over these 8th notes. And then right before this ends, we're going to get a quick stutter here as well. And let's go ahead and go back to our pencil tool. And let's go ahead and draw in a couple more 8th notes here. Oh. Another one in there. And then this bar over here, let's go ahead and draw in our pattern once again. Actually, we're just going to copy this one here. Let's just copy this over. Take out that last note. Actually, I don't think these notes are right. Let me just zoom in on here. Let's take this one out. I think maybe it was 30-second notes. Let's go ahead and change this to 30-second notes. Yeah, that's what I think it was. Yeah, that sounds better. So that wasn't so fast. Let's go ahead and just change this one as well. All right, so there it is right there. Let's go ahead and take a listen to the full pattern. All right, now let's go ahead and move over to the next 8 bars. Once again, Metro Boomin switched up this pattern over here. So this one I think we can draw in. I'm not going to bring in the exported MIDI. Let's just draw at least one pattern in. This is a little bit more simple. Let's change this over to a pencil. I'm going to go down to a lower octave here, and we'll start on that. All right, so that's the pattern right there. Let's go ahead and duplicate this over that instrument and just pitch this up once again. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and just draw in the 808 pattern here. It did switch up a little bit, or a lot rather. Let's go to a nice low octave. And we're going to start right here. All right, let's work on the next 4 bars. Actually, I think it's just the same. Let's just copy that over. So it sounds something like this. So for the hi-hats, it's going to come in here. We're just going to take that last section. For the open hats, I think these were the open hats. Let's copy that over. It's only going to come through midway. And the claps are only come through midway as well. All right, next let's go ahead and move along in this track. So many switch up in this one, and we're gonna try to get to most of them. Sorry for the really long video. So for this block over here, or this section of the track, we're gonna go ahead and just copy over this second pattern. And we're going to copy over this 808 pattern. Except this 808 pattern, the first 2 bars, I believe it was, or half a bar, I'm not sure what it was. I think it was the first 2, they come out. And then over here, we're going to bring back our clap. The clap comes out here. I think these first 2 come out. We're going to go ahead and copy over our kick. I think this was our kicks. Then we're going to copy over this guy, our percussions, and we're going to copy over our open hats, but that comes in halfway. And we get our hats as well. That also comes in halfway. And this ending gets cut out here at the end. Just pull that out like that. For our next section over here, we're going to go ahead and copy over the first main pattern. Then we're going to copy over all of the drums. Except the hi-hat switches up once again. A lot of switch ups. I'm going to copy over this. Put that into there. All right, so that sounds good for that section. Then we're gonna go ahead and move over to the next section. We're gonna copy over this. Then we're gonna copy over these 808s. Once again, this cuts out for the first 2 bars. I believe all this stays in there. And then the hi-hats come into play with the first 2 bars cut out. Alright, I think I'm going to round up the remake right over there throughout as the song goes. In comes pieces and out goes pieces, just like you saw here in the arrangement. So I'm not going to be doing it every single section because it was probably going to drive me crazy if I keep doing it. So we're going to stop right there. That is the remake of 21 Savage's ASMR, produced by Metro Boomin, remade in Logic Pro 10. Sit back, relax, and enjoy, and listen to what we just put together.
Metro, don't trust you,
So that right there is the remake to ASMR by 21 Savage, produced by Metro Boomin. For you Logic users out there, I'm going to go and save this entire session for you guys. Place that as a downloadable link in the description box below this video. For you non-Logic users out there, got your back as well. I'm going to go ahead and export all these MIDI stems, audio stems, and of course include the drum kit that we used in this tutorial. You can find that entire playback in the description box below this video. If you do have any questions on this or just want to chat, let's go ahead and talk in the comment section below. If you are new to I'm a Music Mogul and did like this video, remember thumbs up, share it, and as usual guys, hit that subscribe button for more good videos like this one. I'll talk to y'all soon. Later. Peace.